Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to a brand new mod spotlight on Translocators. Translocators is a mod that was created by Chickenbones, the author of NEI and Ender Storage, and he worked on this during the Mod Jam that was held by Serge. Now, Mod Jam was like a 24-hour or 48-hour mod design weekend that they kind of like went to see how much they could do in just a weekend's time. And the mod here, Translocators, was done pretty quickly, believe it or not, and it's a pretty awesome mod. Now, one or two other changes have been made to it, and I think it's ready for mass production, so I'd like to show you guys what Translocators are all about, because they are really cool and a lot of fun to play with. So without further ado, let's get started messing around with the Translocators. Beautiful. So as you can see in my inventory here, we've got two types of translocators, items and liquids. We're going to cover the items part first. So item translocators, as you can see, are crafted using an ender pearl, some redstone, glowstone, piston, and gold. So not a terribly expensive recipe, and the good news is you get two of them per crafting, because really, these items are kind of worthless alone by themselves. So let's go ahead and just place a translocator on a chest, or any inventory for that matter, by shift right clicking onto the side here. Now you can see this inventory right now has a stack of cobblestone. And I'm going to put a couple other items in here just to demonstrate the way this system works. Okay, so the translocator is on the chest and it's sitting there doing nothing because that's all it does by itself. It needs another translocator in the same block to interact with. You can't put them farther apart than one block. So if I want, I can transfer items into this inventory by placing another translocator on the side, just like so. Now, right now, both translocators are set to export mode, which means they're going to send items out of their current inventory into an accepting translocator. But none of these translocators are accepting items just yet, so we have to make them do that. In order to get that to happen, simply right-click with an empty hand in the center of this block, and we will take this translocator here and change it from export to import mode. Here it goes. Boom. Now it's accepting items, and items are flowing out of this chest and into this one. Ta-da! So the translocator has completed its job, and this chest is now empty. Now if we want to reverse this, we can simply do this. And now items will flow out of this chest and into the adjacent one. Beautiful. Now it might just so be that you don't want every item flying from one inventory to the next, so it's really easy to go ahead and set up a filter. Simply right-click on the translocator itself, not on the center block. If you click on the center block, it's going to change it from one mode to the next. But if you click on the outer ring, you'll see the filter mode come up. And this will allow you to determine what items are allowed to go into this inventory. So, for example, I'm just going to place cobblestone in there. Now, in the default mode, it doesn't matter if there's 1 or 64. You just place the item in and it'll determine what type of item can go in. So now I've told it that cobblestone is the only item that can be accepted into this chest. So that if we swap these modes now, only cobblestone will fly out of here. Cool. The dirt, redstone, and glowstone will all stay in this chest. Perfect. It's working exactly the way I'd want it to. Now, if we wanted this thing to also accept dirt, not a problem. Just go ahead and get yourself a piece of dirt and put it in there, and suddenly all the dirt is flying from one inventory to the next, but still the redstone and glowstone are going to stay. You can also have 3 translocators in a block, or more if you want, as many I guess as can fit in there. And what you can set these guys up to do is, in general, what will happen is the items flowing out of the inventory will be split evenly to the 2 accepting inventories. So you can see these guys, neither of them have a filter. So if I set this guy to export mode, we should get an even distribution of cobblestone and dirt. Let's take a look what happens once we're done with all the cobble here. So you can see we've got a little bit more cobble than over here, so it's a little bit random, but in the end you'll have a pretty close to even distribution. It's a little bit random as to which way it goes. Now the next thing you can do here is apply redstone dust to the translocator, and it'll add these little red dots. What this does is it makes the translocator respond to a redstone signal. Note that this one has the red dots and this one does not, meaning that only the guy on the left is going to respond to a redstone signal. The redstone signal is not affecting the guy on the right. And shift right clicking with an empty hand will get you your redstone back and disable the blocks responding to redstone. Another upgrade that's available is glowstone. What this does is it makes the item take out X number of items from the inventory at a time by respecting what the filter has. So, a demonstration. If I don't have anything in the filter and apply glowstone dust here, when I go ahead and put a stack of cobblestone in, it's going to pull a full stack out at a time. Look at that. So instantly pulled out a full stack. Boom and boom. Ta-da! Now, if you wanted it to only pull out, say, I don't know, 16 at a time, put 16 in the filter. Okay? Now watch what happens. If we put a stack in there, it's going to pull 16 out at a time, and within 4 ticks, it quickly grabs all 64, just like that. Cool. Now that's not to say that it won't pull out all of the cobblestone. It'll just pull 16 out at a time. If it does get down to less than 16, it'll still pull it out. So I placed 1 in there, it still pulled it out. And if I put all 39 in, it got down to 7, and then it pulled out all 7. So it pulls out 16 at a time or less, and it's going to continuously empty the inventory. However, if you want it to only pull out a certain number of items and maybe even keep certain amounts in, that's when you're going to need a diamond nugget. These guys are the final upgrade to the translocators, and it allows it to keep a specific number of items or export a specific number of items from a chest. Let's see how they work. So let's go ahead and place a diamond nugget, which is made 9 diamond nuggets from 1 diamond, onto the accepting translocator here. Just like so. Now, in the interface for the translocator, I've told it to only accept 32 cobblestone. All you gotta do is click in here, and it'll add the item. If you want to, you can shift-click to increase, and shift-right-click to decrease by 16, or just left-click to increase by 1, and right-click to decrease by 1. So you can bump it up a whole bunch and get really high. And you can get up as far as, I think, 65,000 on these. So you can really be pretty descriptive as to how many items you want to keep in an inventory. Now, in the input mode, it's only going to accept 32 cobblestone. So let's see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and throw 2 stacks of cobblestone in here. Note that it's all flowing through, but it only pulled out 32. Cool. So we've got 32 cobblestone in this inventory. All right. Now, if you decrease it when it's in import mode like this, it's not going to go ahead and spit it out. It's just not going to accept any more going forward. So you can see here, 16, done deal. Excellent. All right, so now that's on input mode. All right, we can also, of course, bump it back up to 32, and more will come in. Bump it up again. Now let's keep 80 in there, for example. Cool. Looking pretty good. So that is the diamond on import mode. If your diamond is on the export mode, it acts a little bit different. Let's see what happens now. What I'm going to do on the export mode is the following. I'm going to tell it to only keep 32 cobblestone in this chest. Now if I throw the cobblestone in here, it's going to throw away everything except 32 cobblestone. See? It stopped as soon as it hit 32. So on export mode, it's basically only keep this amount in, and on import mode, it's only allow this amount in. And this, of course, can work on furnaces or any other inventory that accepts items. So if I go ahead and place a translocator here and here, I'm going to give this guy a diamond upgrade, and I'm going to tell him to accept 1 piece of cobblestone at a time. Let's see. Bump this down to 1. There we go. And accept. So I just got to right-click it with an empty hand, and boom. It's going to keep 1 piece of cobblestone in at all times. Now, what's going to happen is as soon as this is done smelting, it's going to grab another piece of cobble. Ta-da! And it'll make sure to always keep 1 cobblestone in the furnace, always available to smelt. And if I wanted to, I can bump it up to 2, and then it'll always keep 2 pieces of cobblestone in there. Pretty awesome, right? So see, always keeping 2. Beautiful. Now there is one more upgrade I'd like to show you, and that's the iron ingot upgrade. You want to apply this to the middle button like so. So note that when I put that on there, it's adding this little red dot. Okay. So what this does is it makes this little item here emit a redstone signal onto the block that it's attached to whenever, if it's an input mode, it'll emit if there's no room for any item that matches the filter. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Notice how the redstone light is not on, but now it is. That's because this inventory is full. Okay. Once it's got more space, it's going to stop emitting a redstone signal, and it'll emit it again once the inventory is full. Now this guy does the same thing, just the opposite. This makes it go ahead and emit a redstone signal to the block it's on when there's nowhere to put anything. So note that if I take these items out, you can't really see, but trust me, the redstone signal's not on, but it goes on once there's nowhere to place anything. If I were, for example, to put another item translocator right here, and put this guy in input mode, it would stop emitting a redstone signal again until it has, So note that now the redstone signal is off. That's because it does have somewhere it could place things here. It just ran out of items to throw in there. Cool. So that's the main difference. It allows you to emit a redstone signal. It does not emit a redstone signal outside the block. So now that you're familiar with the item translocators, explaining liquid translocators should be a lot easier. It works pretty much exactly the same. Go ahead and place your liquid translocators on inventories, and then use an empty hand to right click, and liquids will start flowing. So I've got a ender tank sitting right here ready to flow into this one. And just for a long distance demonstration, let's go ahead and use ethanol. That sounds like a good one to use. You'll notice that a swirling little vortex of ethanol flows straight out of the ender tank into the regular tank. Beautiful. And of course, if you want, you can then send it to some other tanks. So for example, I could send it right over here. Ta-da! And just like before, you can have multiple guys going here, and it'll evenly distribute. How cool. And of course, right click, and it'll stop flowing. Nice. And it'll flow out into this one. I like it. Let's go ahead and try this with a little bit of water. So we'll let this go in there, and we see it's a little blue swirl now. So the swirl here, which is really neat, indicates the type of liquid flowing, and of course it's now flowing straight out and into this place. Very cool. At this point, there is no way to, filter out what types of liquids go into the adjacent inventories. So right now, it'll just kind of dump into whatever inventory is available. Obviously, it won't add water to a tank that already has ethanol. Cool. And then finally, one other thing that is a little bit cool. It doesn't really have much to do with the translocators, but it is part of this mod, and that is the following. If you look anywhere on the ground and just press the letter C on your keyboard, it's going to place down a little grid. This is a crafting grid, which you can right-click on with items. So for example, if I wanted to, I could click here, and you'll notice that we get items showing up. That's the item that's going to be crafted. So here it's going to make me a few little slabs, and then I could do something like this to get stairs. Cool. And if you break it, it'll give you back your items. So pressing C, for example, if I wanted to make a furnace, I could do something like that. And then press C again, and it'll give you your furnace. Wow, that's pretty cool looking. And press C again to get your cobblestone slabs. And guys, I think that about wraps up the spotlight for translocators. Definitely find the forum post in the description of this video to go download this awesome mod. Just like with every mod spotlight I do, I'm sure a lot of you are asking, will this be in the Direwolf 20 mod pack? Absolutely. This is a really nice mod. To be honest with you, I've been sorely lacking the ability to manage inventory, specifically with regards to the ability to determine exactly how many items go into an inventory or stay in an inventory. So these will be a welcome addition to the pack. It'll very much make it easier for me to, send a certain amount of items from one inventory to another. And of course, it looks awesome. I mean, just the neat little effects that happen when liquids and items are flowing between two inventories is so cool looking. I love it. All right, guys. This is Direwolf 20 signing off. Hope you have enjoyed this spotlight, and as always, take it easy!